Welcome back to Africa This Morning. We're now on Table Talk, and today we're going to discuss career choices for school leavers, considering that in a few days we're going to have the announcement of those who are getting their results for the KCSE examinations and what choices are they going to be making. Joining us to give us advice on what exactly we need to be considering as a society, as families, and also as individuals for those of you who are school leavers is Mugure Shikali, who is a leadership and career consultant. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome to Africa again.
Thank you.
There's a lot that we can discuss around career consultation, and we can talk about career and mentorship, and also when it comes to the family perspective. But let's start from the beginning. These institutions. We get into the institutions of learning. We have a perspective. When I grow up, I want to be so and so. When we were young, I know you saw the ad of doctor, policeman, pilot. Was that so wrong for us to have pushed the Cinderella story to the kids then?
Actually, the genesis should be really in the family, because the parents are the ones that play the key role. So by the time we come with the big names of doctor, engineer, lawyer, the parents needed to have taken time with their children to discover the interest and build up talents. So by the time this child goes to school and discovers what being a doctor is or being a lawyer, they already know where their interests and where their talents lie. So they would be maybe science oriented, and as they were growing up, they would fix things, and the parents, you know, would encourage that. And so planning our careers really, and the whole issue of passion and skill really should begin in the family. And as the parents nurture that, then as this child goes to school and now learns this new knowledge of different things, their interest grows, their talent grows, you know. So by the time they are getting out of high school, there should even be no discussion on what do you think you're going to, you know, to take, what course do you want to take. There should have been a clear indication, very clear, on what line this young person is going to take. So really now what's happening is we do the adverts and everybody wants to be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, and then they finish high school and it's not a reality for them. Yeah.
And when you're looking at that reality crushed right before the eyes of a young person who's just from high school, share with us how one, even as a career consultant, what that does to the psychology of a child, and how you get them to that point they can actually even be able to see that there's hope beyond the results that they've already received.
Yeah, actually it's quite difficult. Parents will come to me and say, you know, he got a D or he got an E. I don't know what to do with him. Ntampeleka wapi? You know, you tell me what to do. You know, so it's very sad that as a society we have focused so much on the end result that it doesn't matter what else this young person has. Everybody is focusing on that one exam. And then the society tells you that that grade defines you. You can never, you know, a young person will tell me, I want to take medicine. I got a C. What am I going to do? They're at a loss. You know, so we have, the society has pushed, and the education system is also very exam oriented, yes, yeah, as opposed to learning oriented, as opposed to knowledge and just getting the depth of knowledge in relation to the exam results. So the whole focus has been the exam results. So when the young person comes out, they are crushed. But really there are ways that we take through young people so that you now begin to see clearly. And that's why I emphasize that parents should have done it at the beginning. So once you have cleared, or even before you clear high school, you need to continually do a self-evaluation. You evaluate yourself and say, what are my talents? What are my interests? And this really is for any young person, whether you get an A or a D, it really doesn't matter. Because this is how, these are the steps you follow and the process you follow to choosing a course or a career. And so you do a self-evaluation and ask yourself, what are my interests? What are my talents? What skills do I have? Do a SWOT analysis, my strengths, my weaknesses, and what opportunities can I explore that will enhance my strength or bring out my strengths, and what threats should I watch for that would expose my weakness. And so once you have done that and you know that this is what I'm really interested in, this is my personality temperament test, you take one, and then once you look at all that, then you say, based on my interests, I really seem to be you know, leaning towards arts. You know, I love drawing, I love singing. There's really nothing scientific in my interest. I'm not talented in any of that. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't very interested. I mean, I did well. I passed science and biology and physics, but really I'm not interested in that. And so now you go to the second step where now you begin looking at the career trends that are there in the industry of arts. What can I do that is artistic? Is it journalism? Is it music? Is it drawing? Is it drama? You know, and once you have done that research, then we go to, still on the research step, you go to informational interviewing, where you now come up with your top 3 industries that you'd want to work in, based on your interest, talent, skills, values.
Not only looking at academics.
No, not only looking at academics. It really has nothing to do with academics. It really must be innate. You know, my interest, my passion,
You're
I'm passionate about
it.
You know,
yeah.
I love doing this. You know, if I can get out of class and draw all day, that is what I would do. I would never go to class, even though I'm an A student. And so once you've come up with these 3 industries that you want, that you think you're leaning towards, that is clear from your self-evaluation, and then you begin now doing more one-on-one research, and you do an informational interviewing where you go and sit with a musician perhaps and say, what do you do from day to day? You know, what's the music process? Do I write music?
You're
do I
able
record?
to actually get support right from the ground.
Yes,
It
and
would be
understand
great.
the practicality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there you can do a job shadowing where you follow if it's accounting or if it's medicine or if it's drama. You follow that artist or that doctor to their job and sit in their office and see
as
what
to
it is that they
create the
do
reality
every
in
day.
your
Yeah.
mind.
And so you begin realizing, I'm interested in this, but I really cannot sit at a computer the whole day. You know, so then you go to your second choice. So by the time you're coming to selecting a course, it is really based on all these things, plus the interest. If you're interested in rugby and you're a science-oriented person, you don't just want to go to any university. You want to go to a university that has a strong rugby team. And so by the time you even come down to selecting the course and the university, you've really gone through a process. And if you haven't got the grades to go to college or university, if you have a D or an E, or even a C minus, because now the cutoff point is C plus, you know, to get into university, though now with public universities and the large numbers of students that graduate from high school, the cutoff point is now taken higher because they don't have the space, but really you can get into university with a C plus and above. So then you ask yourself, what path can I take? If you have a C plain, you can do a pre-university course. That's just a 3-month course and then graduate into a university. If you have less than that, then you can go through the certificate diploma route of, after going through the process of career development, of the interest that you want to take. So you begin with certificate.
So you shouldn't get yourself at that point where you always imagine that the moment you come from high school directly to university for your degree course, there are steps that you can take to get yourself to degree course.
Yeah.
One question that I would want to ask, because the SWOT team is very significant, yes, it can be done. But one, you might have the several, you know, SWOT analysis can give you the several options that you'd want to take. However, the market is very significant. It only responds to particular types of people. How do we, even as we're doing the SWOT analysis for the youth, how do we get the youth to that point where they, even if the market is not responding, they are able to create or initiate a strong base for themselves that will influence the market?
At the second step of career development, you carry out career research and look at career trends. But then these days we say there's no box. You know, when we were growing up, we're told think outside the box. Well, now there's no box. So really, even if you don't fit into the industry today, that's where innovation comes in. If you have something to offer, you know, you can follow it through, innovate something that's new. And we're encouraging young people to come up with new ideas. You know, this is being done this way. Maybe you have a totally different perspective. And that is okay, because you don't have to really come and fit into what is existing. You can actually create something new. And you can have an artist with a different eye that we haven't, you know, a totally new type of art. You know, just like music, you know, different genres of music are now coming up. We didn't have them when we were growing up.
And we didn't even think they would ever exist.
You know,
but with globalization and, you know, communities enthusiastic to experience new things, that is creating room for new expressions, form of expressions in the arts.
Yeah, and also,
it's okay, finish.
You mentioned something on mentoring, and I'll take this back to the parents also. Just making sure that you are able to get a mentor for your child growing up. you know, and like in my organization, 100 Days Seminars, we do mentoring for young people. But the ideal situation would have been if the parent at a young age, you know, would have got this child a mentor who can guide them as they grow. You know, different mentors. As a teenager, maybe a mentor to advise them, a career mentor, academic mentor. So as a young person grows, they have all this, aside from
positive
the academic,
voices, in a sense, the 21st century village.
Exactly. You know, and so by the time they're in high school, you know, this is a person who can fit into the global economy. You know, uproot them from Kenya and take them into any country, and they'll fit right in. You know, and they'll excel, because growing up they have been built not only by through academics, but through all these people who have experience, professional experience, life experience, who have been building into this young person. So by the time they're stepping out into the world, they are actually quite accomplished.
Psychologically and mentally equipped.
Yeah.